Solutions. JC Wentworth, how can I help you get cash?
I want to pay off my debt and move into my own place, but I need cash now to do it.
Do you get regular payments from an insurance company?
Yes, monthly, but the thing is, it's my money and I need it now.
Right. In exchange for some or all of your future payments, we give you a lump sum of cash now. Call now and you'll also get $25 for receiving a quote. Call 877-CASH-NOW.
Thanks, JG Wentworth.
You wouldn't know it from listening to the
space. Infinite side float recline and dynamic variable lumbar support make the X-Chair a customer favorite at home and work. Don't forget, the X-Chair lets you customize
from California to Texas in December of last year. It's one of the few places if your car breaks down within 5 minutes, somebody's pulled up behind you, wanted to help you out. I just retired 3 months ago from 4 careers. I was in law enforcement, and I got kind of beat down over the years since I was taking balance in nature. I just keep on going, and I know it's had an effect on my attitude. Every day I get up and I just have tons of energy, and I have no problem at all. For 83 years old, I think I'm winning the best years. Go ahead.
Start your journey with the best fruit and vegetable product on the market by going to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Fox News.
Just got to get to getting. It's important to have this on, but it's more important to connect to my radio show.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Whitehart Legal. Some versions of this device remain approved by the FDA.
Attention, certain Philips CPAP machines and at-home ventilators have been recalled.
If you
Can you see me?
I don't know. I heard you say it's important to have this on, but it's more important to have this on my radio show.
Okay, good. All right.
Well, then I'll go back and see again. I just
Watch this. I'm going to wink to you.
Right.
Tell me if you see the wink.
Well, for years, James Craig was the chief of police in Detroit, Michigan. How'd you like that job? Tough. Yeah. He rose to the job. He brought clarity and competence. He served that city. Now he has left the Detroit Police Department and has a major announcement to make. He said he would make it on this show. James Craig joins us right now to do that. Chief, thanks so much for coming on. What's next for you?
You know, I got to tell you, Tucker, one, let me thank you for allowing me to come on your show tonight. But I said I would make the announcement on your show, and I'm going to do it tonight. We launched today the Chief James Craig for Governor Exploratory Committee. Oh, yes, today. And so I'm asking your viewers to go to chiefjamescraig.com. You know, Tucker, we've talked many times, and I certainly appreciate the opportunity. I protected and served for 44 years in this profession. The best part, the last 8 years here in Detroit, we know what happened last year. You know, when other cities were burning, we know Portland, Seattle, Los Angeles, Chicago, but Detroit did not burn.
Amen.
And, you know, I got to tell you, I'm running because when I look at what some politicians are doing across our country, you know, let's talk about Governor Whitmore. She follows different rules. She just does. And then I can't help but think about
I'm under so much stress because of my computer, my kid and my wife are on the road. I didn't get my Mark Gastineau jersey today. I'll feel better in 2 minutes. Okay? Because I can always reconnect. Ugh, I just saw it like flitter a little bit. I'm like, oh my God. You got 2 minutes.
Boy, it needs it so badly. I don't think I've ever seen a whinier, less confident than your current governor. And I have to say, I mean, we don't endorse.
Come on, Chris. Let me just go over there now. One more minute, and I'll feel good. Maybe that's what I need to kind of get my blood going, you know? Because it's always a long day for me. I got it spun just now. Come on, Chris. Here we go. Oh, thank God. Yo, Junior. Good. So's everybody else, like Phil Simms. He still does it. Yeah, no, dude, people still get this. When the Rams moved back to Los Angeles, right? Nobody instant. But when the chart, people still mess it up. Listen, when the broadcast, you're like, oh my God, people still, and it's like 3 years since they moved. Yeah, it's like 3 years. I think they were in Carson 1 year. Hey, get this. Trevor just said this. You'll like this being a hockey guy. -1 to ESPN covering hockey, calling the Carolina Hurricanes the Carolina Panthers. A little rust. All right. Hey, it's like this though, Chris. When you're kind of the news, you might not want to get your chyrons wrong. Hey, you know what's funny is that when I started producing, everybody, Chris Fowler did it. Wow. So get this. When I first got into like producing the Vegas Channel 13 KNTV for Ron Futrell, I could not get the slash marks right. I could not get, the chyrons. And he looked at me and he goes like this. So how we do this week on the chyrons? I go, well, I missed one day. He goes, well, look at that. We're the news and you only missed it one day this week. We can't be wrong, Dan. We're the news. And I went, all right, I get it. He's a great guy. Yeah. Okay. Something Vegas. No. Watch this. If the A's move there, I'll get him on. Wait a minute. I got to tell you something. If it wasn't for Ron Futrell, I probably would not be where I'm at today because he helped me so much get into broadcasting also. It was one of my first jobs was being the producer of the 6 and 11 o'clock news. I got it. I got everyone's number. What channel? Okay. ESPN. No, ESPN 2? ESPN 2. That's all right. I got oh my God, they got all these guys. Chris Fowler, you might want to. Oh my God, the ESPN guys. No wonder he. I'll tell you something, man. The NBC guys were great. It'd be a shame if they didn't bring those dudes over. Well, I hope they have Keith Jones, too. He does. It's in Philly. Pierre McGuire. Urkel. Funny. Yeah, nice guys finished last, Junior. Yes. No, I haven't. I'm sorry. I haven't looked at it. They'll never get them names right. Good evening, America. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. How the hell are you doing, huh? Look at Seattle, man, showing up for the Kraken. Like it. The Seattle Crackers. I don't know why I say that. Hey, yeah, the Seattle Saltines. I don't know, man. Hey, if Chris Fowler could screw up the Carolina Hurricanes, I could call him the Seattle Crackers. Oh, my God, man. Hey, do you like cheese on your Ritz crackers? Oh, yeah. By the way, Chris O just sent me over a list. Oh, and for the record, the NHL expansion draft is going on. Some of you are out there shaking your head, driving into guardrails right now going, what? Okay, yeah, the NHL expansion draft for the Kraken. By the way, I think it's a dope-ass emblem and logo they have, too. And I think this is going to be a massive success. You got the boats out there, and it's really looking cool. They got a nice crowd. Hey, you got a brand new sports team in your city. Seattle's a great sports city, man. Great sports city. And now you get the NHL. Look at the success that the Vegas Golden Knights have been. By the way, our great friends on the Vegas Golden Knights Network, the Nevada Radio Network, part of the Dan Sileo Show. I got to also throw out our brand new affiliate in Fort Walton and in Orlando, Florida Man Radio. Thank you so much for coming aboard, 105.5 and 660 AM. We appreciate it. Thank you. And when you see the expansion, look at the success. I would say this to you. You think the Florida Panthers are a success? You know why I would tell you this? The Panthers, they have spotty success. You know why? Miami and Los Angeles are so much alike. You know why? It's a trendy city, both of them. If it's winning, everybody wants to be seen there. If you're losing, nobody wants to be anywhere near the place. The BB&T Center down in South Florida, man, forget it. Okay? I think it's in Homestead. I think that's where that thing is. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's in Homestead. And it's nobody goes. When I was broadcasting and doing South Florida radio, South Florida sports radio, hey, man, when that place was winning, everybody showed up. Now, when you go to Tampa, hey, man, they love that. They love that team. They built such a great fan base. And for the last 2 years, Stanley has a tan, which is all good with me, man. It's one of the greatest franchises I've ever worked with in my life. I spent 15 years in Tampa, and I've never been around a better organization than the Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean that. Jeff Vinnick has taken over for Bill Davidson when Bill owned the team. Bill's got the distinction, or did, of having a NBA championship, Larry O'Brien trophy, and the Stanley Cup in the same calendar year, sports year. And I'll tell you, man, it was really fun. Bill was a really good owner, okay? He passes away, they sell the team, and now Jeff Vinnick owns it. He used to own a percentage of the Boston Red Sox, and they have done a marvelous job at putting that stadium together / arena together, and Tampa Bay Lightning have a result of 2 straight Stanley Cups. I'm looking at this thing out here, man, in this scene for the Kraken here, and look at that, man. That's really cool. Love it. They're showing up for their new team. Why not? Would it shock you if they end up getting an NBA team back again? I never understood that. The Supersonics were one of the best fan bases in all of the NBA. Not that Oklahoma City's not. That Oklahoma City Thunder fan base, I think they stand for 48 minutes. It is always packed. They love that team. But Seattle, you got to put a team back in there. You got to put the Supersonics back in there, don't you? Everybody loves a little history. So we got that going on. We got baseball going on. We saw the conclusion of the NBA Finals last night. I'm going to get to that here in a second. Hey, for the record, one of my favorite people on the planet, one of my favorite sports athletes, and with all the junk that's going on with the Olympic Games, the protesting, I'll talk about the women's national team. Okay? They ended up losing, I believe, to Sweden. And I'll talk about them here in a second. George Foreman was in that 1968 Olympics where he had Carlos and Smith. You want to know that he loved the country? Let's ask him. We'll ask him in hour number 2 how much he loved America, what the United States of America still means to him today. We'll talk to the legendary George Foreman. Can't wait to speak to him. All right. I've got to start this off with this. Last night I watched Giannis win an NBA championship. Now, this may be against Stephen A. Smith and Emmanuel Acho. Emmanuel Acho does a sports show on FS1. And you know what he said about Giannis? Can't be the face of the league. He's not American. What? Last week we had Stephen A. Smith saying Shohei Ohtani can't be the face of baseball because he doesn't speak American. 2 African-American broadcasters saying that too. You got 2 men. Giannis last night was sensational. Galvanized the community. Hey, folks, Milwaukee. Great community. Those fans love him. Brings them a championship for the first time in 50 years. Congratulations to you. Pretty cool. He was born in Greece, you know, and now he's the best player in the sport. Shohei Ohtani, we saw what he did and what he's been doing. You know, this year has been just remarkable. Is there anything more American than those 2 men showing you, get this, you don't have to have a sport that's inclusive to people, but you talk about open borders. This is what America's all about. You could be born in another country, come to America and fulfill a dream. Ohtani born in Japan. Giannis born in Greece. These men came here to fulfill a dream. That is the American dream. It can't be any better than that. My God Almighty, open your eyes and expand yourself a little bit. It couldn't have happened to 2 better sports than baseball and basketball. They're really world sports too, aren't they? Play baseball everywhere, and you play now basketball everywhere. How can you be an African-American broadcaster and say that these 2 guys can't be the faces of their respective sports because they don't speak English? I don't know about you, but when I see that, I go like this, man. That's great. Good for those 2 sports. Good for those 2 men. Okay? Good for those men, man. God, yes. It's great. I wish more people had open minds like that. Instead of arguing about open borders or whether we should have them or not, how about we talk about the two best players in their respective sports being foreigners? It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, let's move on to this one too, because this is becoming a story here. You know, the opening ceremonies for the Olympic Games is Friday, right? You're actually hearing people in the IOC now saying there's a good chance that this game and the games may be canceled because of COVID-19. Let me put this out there to you. Any city, any country that is in the process right now in the COVID era that's thinking about bidding on these Olympic Games, winter or summer, you need to have a come to Jesus conversation with your communities. What do you think Tokyo is going to lose because of not having fans at all these billion-dollar facilities that they've built? You're going to economically destroy Tokyo's economy because this was a tourist thing. This was for the hotels. This was for people going to the events. What happens traditionally to these facilities once the Olympic Games are done? They just sit there and they're abandoned. Go to Greece and take a look at there. Go to see what happened to Lillehammer. You can go on the internet and take a look at some of the things that were in Sarajevo. These things are now like the earth has like grabbed them and just like made them part again of nature. They're just abandoned. It is not good business to be involved in the Olympic Games when it comes to countries. It bankrupts you. It bankrupts you. You're going to bankrupt your economy. Tokyo is going to be annihilated over this. Hey, NBC lost billions of dollars a year ago. You may have to try to jam these Olympic Games through just because you want to save the games. This could actually destroy the Olympic movement. You keep having cities getting these kind of, in a good time, it's still economically not feasible to hold the games if you don't have a stable economy. You know, when they held the games in Greece and Athens, it destroyed the euro dollar. Do you know that? It destroyed the money in Europe and the economic system in Europe because of all the loans they got against those games. It's not good business. Now, when you're Abu Dhabi building like for the World Cup, you got money to burn because you got the oil business underneath you. You got black gold. Some of these countries, man, I don't know how they do it. They bankrupt their economy. Some of these countries, you can't even feed your citizens, and you're putting these games on? This is not good business. It is just not good business. And it wouldn't shock me if the games were paused. Would it shock you if the games get paused during these next couple weeks here? If the games do go off on Friday, I believe the opening ceremonies, and I think they'll try to do everything in their power to get these games up and running. But man, you talk about money that is not coming into Tokyo. They're going to lose billions of dollars in this thing. Billions of dollars. You know, you're supposed to get a return on your investment. What's the return on investment here for Tokyo? Having it on NBC? Really? You think that's going to cover the money that you've put up to put these games on? I think moving forward in the landscape of COVID-19, I think the Olympic movement, if it were my city and I was in America, I would do this. I'm not in this thing. You know, America, you have to go to cities that have infrastructure for sports. America, Russia, China. I know, places like that have the economic backing and have the facilities to put it on. Australia, places like that. You can't be going to small countries. Tokyo will be destroyed over this economically. All right. So LeBron James is making news publicly again and politically again. This is a pretty interesting story here. He doesn't like the protesting that's going on. We'll hit on that. We'll do it next. You keep it here on the Dan Sileo Show. A public email? Well, I have it normally. Yeah, dansileo at AOL.com. Yeah. No, it's okay. Keep telling people that all the time. You know, see, I sent, I sent, oh, that's how you should think of me. I sent our PR rep here on Skull Island, yeah, so that we can have a translator to that dude that you like. I told him if he keeps it up, man, I'm going to turn him into filet mignon. What do you mean, what guy? He's got short arms. Oh, right? All these networks pay all this money. Why? Because it's really one of the only things that you can see live. The NBA is going to ask, their ratings are down 40%. But you know what they're asking for? They're going to ask for double the money that their television package is now. The NFL just got billions of dollars. Like I said, if you're not in the original 6 cities, or you're not in Canada, or you're not in Tampa, or some of these other places like Nashville, maybe Carolina, clearly the original 6, you know what? You think you're getting numbers in Los Angeles for the Kings? Absolutely not. San Jose? No way. Vegas, I think you probably are. But I would make the point to you here. It doesn't matter, these ratings. It's live TV. Why do you think ESPN right now went out and outbid NBC for these rights? Because it's live broadcasting. It's not so important, the ratings. It's important that it's live sports. How many things do you get a chance to watch today in American television that's live? Think about that. Elections or the campaigns, the rallies. That's why Trump was so huge. It was a live event. All right. Hey, do me a favor. Please, I tell you this now. Podcasterwarehouse.com is your one-stop place if you're looking to go and build yourself a home studio. 25% off everything on the website. Use the promo code Sileo, S as in Sam, ILEO. Shipping is free. Podcasterwarehouse.com, podcasterwarehouse.com. It is a great crowd. All right. LeBron James is back in the political scene, and he's back in the political arena. Good or bad for his brand? I'll explain next. Keep it here on the Dan Sileo Show. Wow, OU and Texas have reached out to the SEC. God, I better write that down. Shit. I did. Chris Fowler is awful at this. Holy cow, man. He's awful. I hate to do it to him, but I'm going to. Chris Fowler is brutal. That's a TV producer, right? you're a guy that makes these gigantic points. You always have to. I think for me, I think you've got to monitor yourself. Man, am I really hammering this guy just to get a reaction? Because I so don't want to be that guy. All right, I want to read you a story here. I'm taking this from, I could have took this from any place, but I saw it on Fox News. So, it's no political agenda. I could have took it from CNN. It would have been basically the same thing. Okay. LeBron James' company takes aim at Olympics protest rule. We see this as a way of silencing voices. Let me read this to you here. And then we're going to respond. LeBron James' effect at the Olympic Games will still be felt even if his Los Angeles superstar is no longer playing for Team USA in the Olympic Games. The Uninterrupted, a media company founded by the four-time NBA champion and his business partner Maverick Carter, took aim yesterday at the International Olympic Committee, the IOC's rule barring athletes from protesting politics on the medal stand during competition. The company explained to its followers in a tweet, the Rule 50 of the Olympic Charter was opined that the rule was silencing athletes. Rule 50 is a rule in the Olympic Charter that bans any kind of demonstration and prohibits any kind of opinionated political, religious, racial propaganda at the Olympic Games on 2021's Games there in Tokyo. The only time an athlete is able to speak freely is at a press conference and to the media, but not on the Olympic podium. I'm going to stop there because now the article's boring me. How do you feel about Olympic athletes protesting on the stand once they're there to represent their country and you've been picked by that team to represent Team USA? What do you make of that? What do you think of that? 75% of the American athletes that were polled are against any kind of reform on Rule 50 and that they don't want to see anything also on the podium. So 25% of people are for it. That's not good enough. And for the record, I'm completely 1,000% against it. Where does it come off? You have a right, given this great honor. Oh, and I know what people say. Well, wait a minute, Dan. Didn't you in the past used to say that Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods didn't say enough and do enough? Weren't you that guy? You're right, I was. You're right. And I don't want to be a hypocrite in this. I was wrong. Here's why. Do you think it's in an athlete's power to separate and divide a country? What do you think is going to happen when you see somebody taking a knee on the Olympic podium? And here's my biggest problem with LeBron. So LeBron James supports China, a murderous government that does not embrace its freedom fighters, has concentration camps. Nike and the China government are in cahoots with one another. And who is a signature guy for Nike? You got it, LeBron James. He says nothing about that unholy relationship that he has with China. I mean, think about that. They murder people there if they speak out. You ever see those pictures and those videos of Tiananmen Square? He says nothing of that. You ever see those Chinese citizens that have the United States flag? It's funny. Most countries that are protesting their own government, you know what they're waving? American flags. In our own country, we got people pissing on our flags. But you know what I say to that? Hey, it's America. You have a right to do that. My daughter goes like this to me. Dad, really? I go, yeah. You have every right to wipe your rear end with that flag. Salute that flag. Hate that flag. You know why? Because you live in America. and we give you that right. When those athletes are on that podium and they're protesting, you know why they're protesting? Because they're Americans. You think a Chinese athlete is going to protest the people that are being murdered in China, or the people that are being murdered in Russia, or the people that are being murdered in South American countries and in African countries that have dictators that, like back in the day, Idi Amin, and no, you think any of those people are going to protest against their countries? They come home and they kill them, put them in camps. Our athletes forget that. American athletes are spoiled. Really, I can't wait to talk to George Foreman. One of the greatest moments in Olympic history was when Carlos and Smith, and by the way, I've become friends with John Carlos and Tommy Smith. Dr. Tommy Smith is one of the great, believers in protesting, but he's come around. He loves America. He really does. He's the man that was on the podium that won that gold medal, where he put that famous picture in sports history and for memory when those guys were standing on that podium with their hands raised. You know what George Foreman did? He won the heavyweight championship, he won the heavyweight gold medal against a Russian. He took a flag that somebody had ringside and he waved it around the ring. Here was a guy from a poor section in Houston. He had nothing, but America gave him an opportunity. Do you know what he joined? George Foreman joined the Peace Corps. That's how he got out of poverty. A program that JFK put on the map, the Peace Corps. He got a chance to go to a camp. You know George Foreman's worth today, with no high school education? $300 million. You think that's racism and being held back? I think that's a success story. I think that's an American story. Why would you crap all over America when you've got one shining moment where you can? What happened to the athletes that brought us together? That you were so proud. Black. You know what really sucks today? Aren't we so divided with race? God, everything is race. We're talking about teaching racism and hating white people, according to some on the Hill in Washington, where we're now putting those classes where you're trying to tell people, hey, if you're white, you're racist, and America is a racist country. I don't believe that. I think we got a ways to go. But what happened to the great people that led our country to bringing us all together? So sad, man. I feel sorry for those people. When I hear people talking about racism, I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry that you call somebody a racist that you don't know from a can of paint. Just to say it, just to hurt someone. What's the end result? That you have an egg and you have 5 followers on Twitter and you just say something like that just because? How about the people that win a gold medal? Were you not inspired by the 1980 Olympic hockey team that won that gold medal? Bunch of college kids beating that great Russian team and then going on and winning the gold medal. I mean, right? They beat Tretiak, the greatest goaltender in the history of hockey. Nobody beat him. He had won 3 Olympic gold medals as goaltender. Tretiak, I'm not sure any longer. I thought he was the goalie coach in Chicago for a while, but I don't believe he is any longer. But I know that you talk about one of the most revered hockey players of all time. He was the goaltender that was pulled, and he was the goaltender. And he said this, he couldn't believe what was going on in that game. He goes, it was inspiring watching them. He goes, to this day, it's probably one of the most inspiring moments I've ever seen, being on the other side of a loss. These guys were just so energized. I remember as a kid, and this thing was on tape delayed. And I was doing this. God, this is such a great moment for our country. Remember, I think it was during the hostage crisis. I think Carter was in the White House, right? We had an oil embargo. We had gas lines around the corner, and here were these young men leading America. It captivated our country. And there they all decided with Michael Ruzioni to stand on the Olympic podium. And instead of just being, because usually the captain only stands there, the entire team went up there and stood on that podium. It's one of the greatest pictures I've ever seen. It was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. All those guys standing there. How does that not inspire you? Instead of somebody taking a freaking knee or telling us how bad we are. Protesting. I would throw this out to you too. If the women's national soccer team worried more about the game itself, maybe they wouldn't have been upset by Sweden. You ever think of that? Distractions got in their way because now they're playing politics. One of the greatest American teams of all time. What was it, 46 consecutive matches they hadn't been beaten in? And they got beat by Sweden. Everyone was like, holy cow. It was one of the biggest upsets in women's soccer. And Megan Rapinoe, who is the catalyst of all this, she goes, well, we got to put this behind us. How can you put it behind you now? It's front and center where everybody now, because you made a political scene, is going to do exactly what I just said. Maybe you're distracted because you're using the Olympic Games as a torch for you to play politics. I think that's sad. Win the game. Then do what Ali did. Here, know this. If you want to go down this route, hey, after the games, you want to be a political Pied Piper for injustice? Have at it. I've never said that that's not. You have every right in this country. I just got through telling you, you can do whatever you want. You're an American. You have every right to hate our country. But there's no other place in the world where you can do that and live in the country and nobody think anything of it if you do. You do that somewhere else, you'll be shot in China. Yeah, so now the team, they get beat by Sweden. What distractions? You put a speed bump in front of you that didn't need to, and guess what? You put added pressure on you. Did you see that kneeling they did before the game? Then they got beat. You know what some people are saying? It's justice. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I don't. Who in their right mind would want to see a team from the United States lose? You're a jackass if you do. I don't want to see any team from the U.S. lose. But I don't want to see a team make a political scene in a sporting event like that. Hey, please do me a favor. Podcasterwarehouse.com are our friends. We so appreciate them being part of the show. Headphones, earbuds. Use the promo code Sileo. We thank you so much. 25% off of everything that is on the website. Hopefully you go over there and you get the shipping for free. $5 to $5,000. Podcasterwarehouse.com. That's podcasterwarehouse.com. Nick Saban's in the news. I'll tell you why. We'll do it next. Bank. Yeah, I'm not rooting for the team to lose. I'm not saying it's justice. I'd never do that. Okay, I'm not like that. But dude, man, this not me. I don't want to see any team from the United States lose. Oh my God. Really? Boy, that has nothing to do with anything. Hey, you know this. I'm not rooting for Team USA. I want them to win the gold medal. Just shut the hell up. And if you want to protest, Chris, after and go to the White House, talk to Biden, all for that. I'm okay with that. But win the game first. Win the medal first. That's what makes Brady so great. You know, Brady can kid around and be whoever he is because he's got equity built up. I thought it was a great moment. I thought it was funny as hell. LeBron, man, and his state, dude. If you ended your relationship with China, everyone would follow you. Correct. That's right. Because that's right. Because the Chinese people have nothing to do with the scumbag government that runs that country. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Like the folks in China have nothing to do with the Wuhan virus. Nothing. Well, they're Godzilla fans, so I'm not. That's probably something that I would hold against them because I'm more of a King Kong guy. Oh, it's Japan? All right, good. Oh, really? My image. Yeah, because I'm not spiteful. I used to be. So my friend here, MTDR, is like, Biden doesn't even know the Olympics are happening. Wow. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Oh, man, I would never root against. Watch this. You know the hammer thrower that turned her back on the flag? You think I'm rooting for her not to win a gold medal? Absolutely not. But I can watch this. I can have my opinion that I hate what she's doing on the podium. That doesn't mean I'm rooting for her to fail. I am not. Why would you root for an American to fail? Why would you? But see, I'll tell you why. I know why now. I know why. Because we were rooting against Trump to succeed as president. Or some of you were. Or half the country was rooting against him, even though he was president of the United States. I've told you this before. Hey, MTDR, who's on my Twitch page right now, watch this. Dude, you root for Biden to fail. America fails. He's our head coach right now. Like him or not. Can't be rooting for America to fail. That's anti-American, man. Do I like his politics and what's going on? It's debatable. But then again, we got an election in 4 years. We'll find out. Midterms are coming up. I got a feeling that that's not going to go well for Biden's party, these midterms. Nancy Pelosi, in my opinion, she's a lame duck, in my opinion. Okay, just throwing that out there. That's a prediction. No inside knowledge or anything. But that speaker is a lame duck speaker. They lost. They were so upset on how many seats they lost in the House this last election cycle. You wait when it comes up to 2024. That's going back to red. I can tell you, man. Again, we'll see. Right? Before I get into Nick Saban, I gotta throw this out, and I don't want to bring the room down here. But Bobby Bowden, the former Florida State head football coach, is terminally ill. My relationship with Coach Bowden is so great. Funny. When I was a kid, our games against them were so intense. Bobby's a God-fearing man. And our relationship over the years has just grown so great. Played against him a couple times. His legendary teams. God-fearing teams. Players were awesome to be around. Many of them are my friends to this day, the guys that I played against. Look at the people that he put in the NFL, and look at the people that he put in communities, work done, who builds homes for single moms. I think he's given like over 1,000 houses away or something like that since he started that program with Habitat for Humanities. How about Derek Brooks? How about all those great guys who were just super citizens that played for him? He's one of the most revered people in the state of Florida and around the country, especially in the college football landscape. You know, you talk about coaches that love their players. He's one of them. And do you know what I mean by love their players? He just didn't love you for 4 years or 2 years or 1 year that you were there. He loves you to today, All of Bobby's kids, he loves them to this very day. He says he's at peace. I tweeted out, Godspeed, coach. I got a text message from his wife. Bobby goes on a walk all the time. She says he's not doing very well. He can't go on his walk anymore. And I told her, I go, let me make sure you send our love to him. And he's like, do you know how many Canes guys have reached out to him? Sapp and Testaverde and Kelly and all of us. She goes, Gators too. She goes, it's really great to see. He goes, I knew the Florida State guys would, but I didn't know the people that we competed against would. I remember, I'm just saying, well, Bobby's a legend, man. He's a legend. What a great man. So many great people like that. You know, you look around and you're like, impact that people make on one's lives. There'll never be another Bobby Bowden. Greatest coach in the history of college football in the state of Florida, because he was a true man and he loved every single person he played against, and he loved every guy that was on his football team. Once again, Godspeed, Coach Bobby Bowden. He's at peace. All right, we'll reset. We'll talk about another legendary coach. And this is going to be interesting here. We'll do it next. You keep it here on the Dan Sileo Show. Hey, Chris, how long is the George Foreman? I guess they're starting some of the. Oh, that's 2020. I thought they were starting some of the events for the Olympics already, but I don't think they are. They lost again? Oh. I heard what you said. Hey, how long is the Foreman? Oh. Uno spectacular. Look at that nice arena there. Oh, I love it. Look at that. Yeah, he wins an NBA championship ring. No. I'm sorry? Remember, the golden coconut is always the gold standard around here. I don't like the fact that it's been on that goddamn guy's shelf. I don't know. Okay. Thank God. I'll put it right next to the other 15. Right next to the other Kong conies. Yeah, I'm great, dude. I'm all good. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. How are you doing? Huh? Excited. Cowboys showed up to training camp today. Right there in Oxnard. They're ready to rock and roll for the 2021 season. Football's here, folks. Okay? Cowboys are getting ready for the Hall of Fame game. I can't believe we're here. Buccaneers were at the White House yesterday. That was so dope of an event. Tom Brady was so great. He really was, man. He was great yesterday. Funny. Non-dividing. I guarantee you some of the people in the White House are probably like, you don't think he's going to rip on Joe, do you? It was all self-deprecating and funny, and it was just great. I thought he commanded the room, man. Like I said yesterday, he was a great representative for the Buccaneers in the NFL. That's how you do it. That guy's going to be a great public speaker and a great endorser for companies once he goes into his second life. Tom Brady representing your company. Would you like that? Boy, I would. Man, here's Tom Brady speaking to your troops. Okay. You think they'll listen? I know I would. I'd be like, this guy knows how to build a team. Whether it's sales, radio, any kind of business, volleyball, right? Horseshoe throwing. This guy knows what he's doing. You know the simple thing is, too? It's communication. It really is. It's communication. So I thought he was spectacular yesterday. Hey, want to throw this out one more time? Thank you so much to our great friends at JVC Broadcasting. We are now an affiliate of Florida Man Radio, 105.5, Fort Walton, Orlando, and 660 AM. We so thank you for having the Dan Sileo Show on. We can't thank you enough for having us back in the great state of Florida. Thank you. It means a lot to us. You know, Orlando, Tampa, Miami, that triangle really means a lot to me in my broadcasting career and in my personal life. The success I had in each one of those cities, think of this for a second, just for me personally. My college football, I was an All-American at Miami. I was drafted by the Buccaneers, and I played, and I was an all-star football player for the NFL's World League in Orlando. And I've been on in radio in all three of those markets for almost 30 years. It's pretty crazy, isn't it? I mean, even I look at it and go, really? Never thought of it. I just was thinking of it right now. I'm like, wow, really? So my sports career and my broadcasting career pretty much in that, in that triangle there, isn't it? Orlando, Tampa, and Miami. Never looked at it that way. So thank you again to those great folks at JVC Broadcasting. This new nil law that's been instituted in college football. Bryce Young, the starting quarterback of Alabama, I brought this up to you yesterday. You know he's going to make $1 million. He's never started a down at Alabama. Never started one down. Saban can't believe the number either. He cannot believe the number. You know what I'd be doing if I was a coach? And some of the coaches are getting upset with this. By the way, we're going to have Dabo Sweeney on the show Monday. And I'm going to ask him, the head coach at Clemson, he hates the expansion of the college football playoff. And he clearly hates what's going on with the money of the players being paid, even though he makes $9 million. You know, I'm not going to be combative with Coach, but I'm going to ask him, Coach, you think it's okay you make $9 million and these kids make nothing? And you can't keep selling that, well, guess what? Hey, it's for the old college try. I don't think that works because the money's too big now. You're talking about $1 billion business. This is not old school college football back in the day where coaches got like other jobs when they weren't coaching college football. You know what I mean? This is big business now. Anyway, you know what I would do with this new law? Follow me here. Ready? I'm going to play role play here. I pick my phone up and I call a prospect. Hey, this is Coach Saban, Alabama Crimson Tide. How you doing, John? Pretty good, Coach. Thank you for calling. Hey, listen, I've been watching your film, and I'm really thinking a lot about having you come and be part of the program here at Alabama. You know, the success that we've had here at the University of Alabama, guys have gone on to do great things here. We play for national championships. We're always on television. We play in the best conference in the country, and make no mistake about it, we really, really are probably the best program in the country. No, I know we are. We're defending national champions. Yeah, Coach. So where are your recruiting trips, John? Well, I'm going to go to Ohio State, Notre Dame, Miami, and a couple other places. Well, let me ask you this. We got a player on our football team right now that's never started a down. He's going to make $1 million this year. You know that new nil law? Yeah, Coach. Well, what do you think a guy like you could do if you came down to Alabama? You think those opportunities would be there for you too? I do, Coach. Well, not only are you going to get an education here, not only are you going to play for national championships, but you could be supporting your family in the same breath of doing all of those miraculous things, playing college football. You don't have to pay for anything. You're on scholarship. That money you can support your family with. And in the process, as I said, get an education and play for the best college football program in America. What do you say, John? Wow, Coach, that's quite an offer. Well, it's reality. I have a quarterback on my football team that hasn't played it down. He's making $1 million a year. See, instead of being so adversarial with this law, why don't you embrace it and use it as a recruiting tool? Wouldn't you be on the horn doing this? Hey, man, you want to drive a car? You want to live in a great house? You want your parents to live in a great house? Yeah. Come on down here to LSU. We'll set them up. You'll make money. They'll make money. And you'll play and get an education. Are you telling me that's not going to be part of the sales pitch any longer? Now, look, you're not going to be able to do that at San Diego State. Or maybe you are. I don't know. Hey, get this. That may be something that keeps these kids in the local cities, too. Maybe a kid doesn't want to go and play, or maybe he's not good enough to go play. But you know what a guy can do? He could be a San Diego State. Hey, we can get you a job. We can hook you up with a house. Your family can live here. And we'll do everything we can to support you guys. Would that be something you'd be interested in? Boy, I'll tell you, I'd be interested in that. You mean to tell me I get to send money home? You mean to tell me that I can maybe get a job from my family? You mean to tell me that, I can have more opportunities for my family instead of all the money that they've shoveled out over the years? Maybe they could get some of the reward for putting me in this position to succeed. How is that a bad thing? Or do you think people are afraid? You think they're afraid because you can't, you know why people are afraid? Let me tell you why people are afraid. Because they can't control the kids anymore. How do you think they controlled college football and college basketball? They controlled them by having these dopey-ass rules. Can't take a sandwich. Can't get a job. Can't transfer without sitting out. Can't do this. Can't do that. They had all these dumbass rules. They never changed. And that bylaw book, since 1954, it never helped the kid. COVID changed everything. It did. And then, get this. College football got so big, it ate itself up. They got greedy. Did you not think eventually this was going to affect the players? You know what players are doing nowadays? You know these bowl games, these Alamo Bowls and these older games like the Liberty Bowl and stuff like that? No disrespect to any of those games. My bowl experience, I went to the Citrus Bowl, I went to a Sugar Bowl, and I went to a Fiesta Bowl. Those 3 games were great experiences for me. I had a great time. So I'm not doing anything. But do you know what kids are doing now? And you know what? Someone asked me this question the other day. And if I knew that I had $1 million on the table, maybe that would keep me in college more if I knew I was going to be a high prospect. But you know what kids are doing? My football team's 8-4 this year. I'm projected to be the 15th pick. You think I'm going to play in a do-nothing game that I could get injured and wreck my opportunity at being a top-flight NFL prospect? You think I'm going to – or how about this? Even a guy who's in the 3rd round, you think I'm going to injure my chances of playing in the NFL or getting drafted? No way. For what? So the school can make money, the conference can make money, and I get a knee injury? You can kiss my ass. Why would I play in that game? I don't begrudge the kids that pull out of these games now. Why would I do that? Nick Bosa pulled out of the entire season after he stretched a muscle in his stomach. He was like the 3rd pick in the draft. Why would he play for Ohio State, come back and play? For what? So the coach can make $8 million. The Big Ten can make money. You know, the athletic director can make money. And he takes a chance of injuring himself again. For what? You? No way. You see, you're not committed enough to me. Now you got money on the table, okay? That's a different story. Money always makes people think, don't they? You think about it. You're making $800,000. You were able to pay for an insurance policy if you get hurt now, legally, instead of going under the table like I had to. Okay? You got a $10 million insurance policy because somebody fronted it to you. They gave you the premium of $10,000 to get $1 million insurance policy. I'm just using that number. They fronted it to you. Okay? Maybe I stay in college now because there's more of an incentive. If I get hurt, I'm still going to make $10 million. I might stay now. See, college football got too big. These television deals. These deals now with the internet. Gambling. Legalized gambling. You can gamble now in college football games legally and college basketball games. You know, they used to take the Vegas running Rebels off the board in Vegas because, you know, they didn't want any shenanigans going on. Can't think that that's not going to change. Now you're going to have the running Rebels on these sportsbook boards. Why not? It's legal. How would you like to play for the UNLV running Rebels now? Wait a minute. I get to go play college basketball in Vegas? Holy crap. I would do every single thing that Jerry Tarkanian was doing back in the day. I would go like this. I got a job for you at the MGM Grand. Make it $200,000. Phew. I'll tell you, that football team too. And that football team gets to play at the Raiders' place. Instead, Thomas and Mack, or what is that? Boyd Stadium. Oh, Sandpoint Stadium versus now I get to play at the Raider place. Look at what it's going to do to a place like that. How'd you like to play for the Running Rebels? Okay. Thomas and Mack? The Thomas and Mack place? And I'm making $300,000? I'm in. I love it. I do, man. All right. Aaron Rodgers back in the news. I'll explain to you. We'll do it next. Keep it here on the Sileo Show. Holy cow, man. If I was the UNLV Running Rebels, I'd be like this. Poof, I'd go to every casino I could, and I'd get them to – if I was the UNLV Running Rebels, I would go to every single casino and have them sponsor my football players and my basketball players. It's legal. Yeah, but now it's legal. Dude, I think the best arena in that building is the Thomas and Mack. It's probably T-Mobile now. I love that MGM, though. Whew. NBA's coming. Well, they'll build another arena if they have to. No, you're not going to go out that way towards Sam's and them places. Understood. It's that old Irish guilt. But here's what I'll tell you. My pop died in, I think it was, my aunt's going to kill me if I forget. I think it's October 2017, something like that, maybe 17 and 98. Only thing that doesn't happen today is just the tears aren't here. Grandma, too. Greatest human beings I've ever been around. Man, it made me think of them. Good ways. I don't think sad. It's probably because of the bylaw in the relocation that they have to, because the NFL, if you're going to relocate, you have to continue negotiating with the current market that you're in. I had a lawyer tell me that once you stop negotiating, they could sue you for not being open to keeping the team there. My opinion, that's just window dressing. Once you said Vegas, it's over. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network, one of the legendary athletes in American sports history. George Foreman will join us in a few minutes. I don't know about you, but he's one of my favorite people on the planet, George Foreman. God, what a story. What a story, man. Wow. dirt poor. One of the meanest fighters in the history of boxing. 68 knockouts. I was there ringside when I saw him knock out Michael Moore. I was sitting there and I was like, wow, he did it. I have never in my life heard a bigger explosion of fans. I thought the MGM Grand Garden was going to come down. I have never been in a place that was louder than when Foreman won the heavyweight championship. And by the way, it was 20 years ago to the night that he lost it in Zaire to Ali. 20 years removed, Foreman puts the heavyweight championship belt on again. How incredible is that? Right? How incredible. All right, real quick here. So I was mentioning Giannis wins the NBA championship last night. It was such a great moment for Milwaukee. I think Aaron Rodgers can learn a little bit from Giannis. He loves that community. I don't think Aaron Rodgers does. I think Aaron Rodgers loves a whole bunch of Aaron Rodgers. I think Giannis, when he made that commitment to Milwaukee in 2014, he put it in a tweet. I'll never leave this city until we win an NBA championship. We're going to build an NBA superstar culture here, and we're going to build a championship team here. He did it. He delivered. He delivered. How rewarding is that? He delivered a championship to a team. The last time they hoisted the Larry O'Brien trophy was 50 years ago. Wow. You talk about never being forgotten. You talk about a late. Watch this. Kevin Durant winning the NBA championship in Golden State, there in Oakland with the Warriors. I don't know. Really cool accomplishment. You build some. You know what? I made this comparison earlier. I'm gonna real quick here put it into a comparison maybe you can relate to. You know, when you buy a house, you really love it. It's something you revere. You love your family. You love. But what about the house you build? You pick out the tiling. You pick out the bathroom settings. You pick out the sink, the shower, how the lawn's going to look. Doesn't that mean a little more to you when you see the utopia that you've created from the ground up? That's what Giannis did in Milwaukee. He just didn't buy a house. He built the house. He built the pool. He built the jacuzzi. He built the stove. He built and put the floor tilings down. All that detail that it took to build that house, I don't know, just seems to me that would mean a little more, don't you think? When you build something like that, I think it's more of a reward. I don't know. I think to me that there's just something special about building something instead of walking into something. I don't know, just me. All right. Hey, our friends at podcasterwarehouse.com, please, if you're looking to build yourself a home studio like the Big Sill Studios, this is your one-stop place. Headphones, gamers, this is your place as well. Microphones, everything is there for you. Use the promo code Sileo, S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. That's S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. 25% off everything. Shipping is free. You can spend as much as $5 to $5,000. Podcasterwarehouse.com. That's podcasterwarehouse.com. The legendary George Foreman, the gold medalist and heavyweight champion of the world twice, is next. Keep it here. Gotcha, brother. See. Always ready. Yep. Dan Sileo USA Radio Network. Another great night, right? Once again, throwing love out to our friends in Orlando, 105.5 FM and 660 AM. And in Fort Walton Beach on the Emerald Coast, we're on 103.1 of FM. So want to make sure we correct that there for you. So, yeah, no. So love the fact we're back where we really started. I mean, I know people will tell you that I started at KGO Radio in the Bay Area, then I went to KBR and all that stuff. But really, Florida, as I said, in the last hour, I was like this. I was like, think about the triangle for me. My college career at Miami, All-American. I get drafted by the Bucks. I was a all-star football player for the Orlando Thunder of the NFL. We used to get 25,000 fans into that Citrus Bowl. It was a lot of fun playing there. And I actually played a Citrus Bowl game when I was at the University of Maryland my freshman year. So the whole triangle for me, and then broadcasting. I've been on in every market. I've been on actually in Jacksonville too. Jesus, criminy. I guess when you've been on a long time, man, it's whatever, right? Yeah. You start adding them up and you're doing this. Hey, man, it's like, remember back in the day when we had reel to reel? Some dude's out there going, Sills, what's reel to reel? I know. I ask myself the same thing. How do you do this? Bulking tapes? Holy cow. So I mentioned to you also in the last hour, the Cowboys are showing up to camp today. And Stephen Jones is saying this. If I had to do it all over again, you know what I would have done? I would have signed Dak before the pandemic. You know what they did in the end, though? They didn't let money get in the way. They did the right thing. I say this to everybody. If there is a blueprint on how you behave, how you act, how you become the face of a franchise, Dak Prescott's your guy. This kicking tires and this dating and all this crap that they were doing, kicking a can down the road, whether or not they think Dak's the guy or not. He held his head up, and every single player in the league respects that man. That's the one thing you got with Brady, too. Tom Brady has respect. He does. You know why he has respect? He's not a rear view mirror dude. Looks in the front window and always going forward. How many times you got people that are always stuck in the mud, always bitching about the past? Anytime you talk about the past, it's ego. It's ego. The people that talk about the future, those are people with vision. Those are people that are driven. Those are people that want to win. You see, anytime you listen to anybody, sports, politics, whatever, that's always talking about the past and what they did, nobody cares anymore. They only want to know what you're going to do today. I wish our politicians figured that out. That's what makes Bruce Arians such a great coach with the Bucs. I did an interview with him a couple months ago, and Bruce Arians goes, hey, that team was that team. This team ain't done you know what. This football team hasn't done anything yet. That's what makes Bruce the great coach that he is. Because he's not a rearview mirror guy either. What's Brady's geekiest line of all time? You know what it is? Hey, Tom, what's your favorite Super Bowl win? The next one. Those are guys that are never satisfied, too. Those are the guys that are always trying to beat you, like in pickup basketball, get to the station or to, you work. They want to get the best parking spot. They're always challenging you. These guys are hemorrhoids, but they're winners. They are, man. They're always battling you. Like, will you please? I bet I could gun this beer more than you. Dude, give me a break. I hate them hemorrhoids. I mean, really. Why did they call them hemorrhoids too? I always thought they should have been called asteroids. I don't know. That's just kind of how I think. Maybe that hopefully that lightens the room up. I don't know. Hey, I'm like a carp in a lake. I can get easily distracted. Hemorrhoids and asteroids. I never got it. Hey, it's still perplexing to me. Yes, thank you very much. The things you learn on the Dan Sileo Show. Thank you very much. All right, we'll reset. You keep it here on the Sileo Show. I never got that. Why would they call it asteroids and then right, asteroids. Well, I get it. It's your ass. Hemorrhoids. I mean, I don't know, man. It makes me. No, man. Hem never did shit to me. Hem's a good guy. Nah, really. The only guy that I get upset is that guy with the short arms. Yeah. See, I'm glad you're coming around now.